Yo, good fucking morning, good goddamn morning, everybody. This is Coffee Sports in the Morning with the Sports Network, Empire Sports Network. I got two great guys right here, two knowledgeable guys right here, man. We got one to my right here, the Philadelphia native, Philadelphia Phillies, genius guy, 76ers, Philadelphia 76ers, Philadelphia, whatever you want to goddamn call it. You just don't know Philadelphia. He know every goddamn thing. We got my man from Wire to Wire Sports, Gene. How you doing, brother?
What's poppin', Coach? I appreciate the entrance. Especially after yesterday, man. We got Phillies finally got a win, 1-4. We got a W, and the Sixers, man. We'll talk about that. But my man, Joel, trust the process, Embiid.
And we got my boy Mo, the Laker fan, resident Laker fan, right here. Got a win versus Utah last night. It must be a very good win with Utah. LeBron James pulled them through last night with a game-winning basket. But how you doing this morning, Mo? How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm good, fellas. I'm good. Good to be with you.
It was always good. We ain't got Freddie here. I guess Freddie ducking Gene this morning. Trying to duck Gene this morning. So other than that, man, like I say, we had an exciting night, doing NBA. We had Joel Embiid, solid night. We got 2 more games left in the regular season. So again, but the first topic, we got some NFL OBJ to Baltimore. Gene, give me your thoughts on that.
It's not official, right? They haven't signed him yet.
No, I don't think he did.
I don't know why Odell Beckham Jr. would sign there. I don't understand that. I feel like Odell Beckham Jr. has more of a pedigree than to sign with a Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens team. Like, who's going to be the quarterback? How do you showcase your talent? Like, what type of contract are you signing? Are you signing him to a multi-year contract with a ton of guaranteed money to get him to come there? And if they do that, what money do you have to pay a quarterback? I don't see it as a good fit. If I'm Odell, I wait for the right situation with the right quarterback, because we all know how you can be a great wide receiver in this game, but if you don't have the guy that can throw you the football, throw you open, it don't matter. It don't matter. There's so many people we watch that go to situations that are like the end of them because they have a quarterback. Like, look at Terry McLaurin's career. That guy could be a top 5, top 7 receiver in the league. He's just had bad quarterback after bad quarterback go through Washington. If you're Odell Beckham Jr., I don't know why you don't wait for a situation that's right for you.
Mo, what you got?
Yeah, I don't understand the pairing of him in Baltimore. I know he wants money, but do you want money at the expense of the rest of your career? Because those are going to just be dead seasons. Like Gene said, we're looking at a guy that when he's healthy, he's probably still a 1,200-yard receiver. And on Baltimore, that's not going to happen. He's not, I know he wants to win, but people got egos. They want to put up numbers. They want to showcase what they can do. He wants to go back to a Pro Bowl. That's not going to happen in Baltimore. It's definitely not going to happen in Baltimore without Lamar Jackson. That pairing doesn't make sense. Odell's smarter than that, I think. Dude, go somewhere with a quarterback that can fling the football that needs a talent like you. Take less. Go play with Patrick Mahomes. You'll get those numbers. You're going to get that recognition. You'll get that shine, and you got a good chance to win a Super Bowl. but I don't understand the pairing of Baltimore. That doesn't make sense. They couldn't pay. To me, most top receivers, they're not going there. They're not going because you're not going to put up numbers. Receivers like to put up numbers. They want to catch the football. They want a chance to get individual accolades. That's never going to happen in Baltimore. Look, no offense to Lamar, I'm not sure it happens with him because of how they run their offense. I don't think Odell Beckham's going to put up big numbers in that offense, the way they run that offense. The pairing just doesn't make sense to me.
I agree with you. And just to add to that, the Baltimore Ravens have spent serious draft capital on weapons, and none of them have panned out. So is it really the weapons that they're drafting, or is it the fact that the way the system is ran? Rashad Bateman, I loved him out of Minnesota. I really did. I liked it. You had Hollywood Brown there. Hollywood Brown requested a trade. His first 6 games in Arizona, he was catching the ball better than he guys ever has. You got Mark Andrews, who spent draft capital on. J.K. Dobbins. These are all top 1, 2, and 3 round picks. I don't believe that going to Baltimore. You remember Des Bryant was over there for a little bit.
Right.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that go to Baltimore and their numbers just decline because the way that offense is run. And listen, Lamar Jackson needs to be in a situation, if he stays there, in which the offense is predicated around him throwing the ball too, not just him running the ball to extend his career.
I mean, like we was talking about yesterday morning. We said people saying Lamar Jackson is losing out because of the contract. The Ravens are going to do even worse because you got to start over again. You got to revamp a whole new receiving core. You got to revamp that as well. So the only thing you actually got is your star running back, J.K. Dobbins. That's the only thing you really actually got. And Mark Andrews, really, that's the only 2 weapons you really got. So again, if Lamar Jackson does decide they do decide to find out to trade Lamar Jackson, you got to start over at the quarterback position, which is I don't think Baltimore wants to do. You got Rashad Bateman, like you said, Gene, who can be good, but he can't stay on the field at this point in time. And then he just called out the organization. A few weeks ago. He just called out the organization and let them know how actually it wasn't letting them know how it wasn't pretty much the receiver's fault. But then again, he's on the field. He's off the field all the time. And then you go get a Deshaun Jackson and a Sammy Watkins. Like, that's going to really help this team out. That's not good enough. But again, it'll be interesting to see what Baltimore definitely does in this situation right here. But I think Baltimore is losing out on a lot because you got to start over at the quarterback position and revamp a whole new receiving core as well. So
if you start over, Coach, you're also setting Dobbins up for failure because with no quarterback, they're dropping a safety down in the box. They're not going to respect the pass. He's going to take a beating.
They already don't respect the pass, though.
Well,
I think the only thing the quarterback helps with, Mo, is the fact that when you have a quarterback that uses his legs, you have to account for him. Right. Now, if you put a pocket passer back there that's not a great quarterback,
right,
you run him in that situation, he's in trouble. He's a lot of trouble.
And we got the resident Denver Broncos, Denver Nuggets fan. I'm surprised he woke up this morning. Dez, how you doing, man? Look at that Broncos shirt, man. How you doing, Dez?
I'm good, man. Sorry about the late start, man. It was a busy night last night at the hospital, but it was good though. It was good. So
you good.
Oh yeah, I bought this shirt myself when it was training camp. So
all right, Dez, you ready to ride? Let's ride. Look at Dez.
What you think about the OBJ situation? OBJ to Baltimore. What you think about that?
I think it's a good possibility. It could be a 1-year or 2-year deal. I mean, you look at the receivers they have. But with them, they just have Bateman and Duvernay. That's pretty much it. And Duvernay, he can't really stay healthy most of the time. And Bateman, he can give you spurts. You know, he was good in the beginning of the year for Lamar Jackson. He was kind of like second weapon behind Andrews. But even then, I mean, OBJ will be good. The question you have for OBJ though is, can you stay healthy? That's the biggest thing. He's up in 30 as age-wise. Can he stay healthy?
Yes, indeed. So we got a historic night last night by a player that plays for this man, like I say, to my right squad. Historic night. Played like a man among us boys. Finally beat Boston 100 times, 101 out of 100 times. They finally did it. But Joel Embiid pulled them through. They were down by much as 5 points in the fourth quarter. You thought you like, here we fucking go again. This finna happen again. But Joel Embiid turned into a Super Saiyan 5, Super Saiyan 10 Goku, however you want to call it. But historic night, 52 points, double-digit rebounds. He even had 6 assists, even playmaking for the team. So he basically did everything, man. So like I say, I'm going to turn this over to Gene, man. What you think about the performance last night from Joel Embiid?
I feel like that I should be really happy, right? The 76ers beat Boston. I feel like that you should, like, as a Sixers fan, you should be like, yeah, we finally did it. I'm not. I'm disappointed. I swear to you, I'm disappointed. And not in Joel. Joel's the MVP of the league. Argue with your mama, because Joel's the MVP of the league. Let's stop. The debate should be over. Joel's the MVP of the league. However, I'm going to read a couple things out to you real quick. Tobias Harris, 34 minutes, 2 for 8, 5 points. Max contract. Tyrese Maxey, 2 for 8, 5 points. Young budding superstar. James Harden, 7 for 17, 20 points, 10 assists. Okay, that's what I'm getting from James. Niang, House, Melton. The entire bench scored 10 total points. All 3 of those guys scored 0. You needed a performance of Joel Embiid, 20 of 25 for 52 points, 13 boards, 6 assists, 3 block shots. It's like one of those things that, like, you won the game, but the Celtics also didn't have Jaylen Brown. The Celtics almost came back from 7 points down with 14 seconds left. They had an opportunity to tie the game. Sloppy with the ball. And you needed a performance out of Joel Embiid that was probably the best performance he's had all year. 20 of 25. You talk about efficiency. Not only that efficiency, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. It's just frustrating because I feel like that Joel Embiid is kind of on an island by himself. And this team's going to see another second-round exit. We're locked in at the 3 seed, which means we'll be playing Boston in the second round of the playoffs. And if we play Boston in the second round of the playoffs and the series is in Boston because they would be to have home court advantage, we're going to lose. Who thinks the 76ers are going to win a second round series versus the Boston Celtics? I don't. What are we going to hope Miami takes care of business for us? That's not happening. I'm happy for Joel. I'm happy he should win his first MVP. I think it's well-deserved. I think it's overdue. And I'm happy that the 76ers got the win. But you listen to Joel in that post-game presser. You know the first thing he said after the game? I'm not sure anybody else heard this. He goes, we have to be better. This is just that we can't play the way we did on the stretch. We have to be better than this. Like, he wasn't even happy. 52, 13, 6, and 3. Most efficient night of his NBA career. Man, we got to be better than this. We can't. He's screaming at PJ Tucker for fouling and Derek White on that 3-point shot. He's like, what are you doing? Like, you can't, like, it's wild to me how poorly coached and inefficient this 76ers team is, that you need an all-world performance to beat a Celtics team at home without Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams. So that 76ers team fully healthy, everyone playing, no one missing. And you needed an all-world performance by Joel Embiid to beat the Celtics by 2 points without Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams. Yeah.
I want to make sure it's this straight to you, because I know the Celtics are the Achilles heel, especially in the playoffs, to the 76ers. The playoffs has not been kind when they played each other. So how many times, I want to just be clear, how many times did the Celtics beat the 76ers in the playoffs? I know they swept them.
3.
3. Okay, I figured that.
They swept us in the bubble. They beat us in 5 in 2021, and they beat us in 6 the year Kyrie got hurt when we were
Yeah,
expecting
that was Jason Tatum the rookie year. Yeah, that was actually a rookie year. All right. So Des, what you think about this all-world performance, this Superman performance by Joel Embiid?
I gotta agree with Gene on this. I'm not really proud of it. I mean, I give credit where it's due. You scored, 52 points, definitely efficient, 20 for 25 for the night. But like you said, I mean, you look at the box score too. I mean, you only have James Harden with 20 something points, and then PJ Tucker. He I guess he found his stride last night with 11 points, but even then, like you said, with the dumb fouls. I mean, the reason why Philly won that game last night, 3-point shooting and their field goal percentage and points off turnovers. That was super huge last night. But I'm not really impressed because you had a main superstar basically scoring most of your points to win you a basketball game. And your team is healthy. And Boston had, what, 2 or 3 people out? And they weren't even at full strength, and it took maybe a 3 or 4 point win. I think the only thing I can say positive about this is the fact that you beat Boston. It's encouraging. But like Gene said, you had to have a supporting cast because 2 for 8 for Harris and 2 for 8 for Maxey. That's only 4 for 16 for 2 players. So efficiency. Doc Rivers, I know he's like a motivator type coach. I think he needs to have a look in the mirror and say, "Hey guys, we have one guy scoring 52 points in one game." He said that's not good enough, and they just need to look in the mirror and get ready for the playoffs because that's not going to get it done. That's going to be a first round exit.
Second round, but I got you.
I don't know about first round.
Yeah, we ain't losing to Brooklyn in round 1. That's not happening.
Oh, so they had 103 points, and Joel Embiid had how many? 52 of them. Joel Embiid had 52. That's horrendous. That's not a good look. The man have basically 50 of the 51 of the damn points that the rest of the team scored. That's not really a good look. Mo, what you think about this, Mr. Mo?
I think it was a signature performance by Embiid.
Yeah.
You talk about finishing kicks. He's made it no secret he wants to be MVP. That's a finishing kick. That's a statement that says, look at my resume over the course of the season, but look at this game. I think that's something all the voters saw that game, and that's against Boston. So that's against one of the 3 best teams in all of basketball. So on an individual level, I know I was impressed. Coach, you and I talked about this the other day. We thought Boston would still find a way to win just because Philly just couldn't figure them out. Embiid's always put up numbers. What if he had put up 40 and 15? That's a signature performance. They would have lost, but I'm just saying going forward, he needs actual support. I know what you're going to get from Harden. I don't have a problem with Harden. James is not going to always put up big numbers, but he's going to facilitate. He's going to make plays. And even on a bad shooting night, he can give you around 20 a game to go with 10 assists. You need production from Harris. We talked about this the other day. Sitting him over in the corner every time down and just having him sit there in the corner waiting to catch and shoot, that's not a strategy. I think Harris is like 6'9", 240. He's actually a pretty big guy. Put him in the post, run a pin down, do something to get him involved because he's not involved at all. And usually when he gets the ball, it's on a bailout. Yep. I just don't think Philly doesn't really run an offense. They get the ball to Embiid or Harden does something himself. They don't really run an offense. They run pick and roll or they run screen and roll or pick and pop every time down. And if you're Harris or even Maxey at times, you're just watching a lot. And don't get me wrong, Embiid is great. If I had a guy like that, I'm giving him the ball too. But you got to mix it up. You can't be so predictable. He's not going to score 52 points every night, especially over the course of a playoffs where it's a grind. There'll be adjustments. More teams will blitz him because I know if I played Philly, I could live with the fact that I want to see Tobias Harris drop 30. I'm a double Embiid. Harris is going to be open. PJ Tucker, people don't guard him. But guess what? Last night, to his credit, 3 big threes late. And that was off of Embiid reading the defense, finding him. That's another thing. Embiid doesn't average 10 assists per game, but he's a very good passer. It doesn't get mentioned enough. He has great court vision. He's a complete basketball player. I don't doubt Philly's winning in the first round. But if they can't get more production from Maxey and Harris, they don't go beyond the first round.
I want to answer Kyle's question that Coach has up on the screen. That can't. I'm not saying it can happen. Brooklyn is up 1 game, but they also have the tiebreaker. So essentially, they're up 2 games with 3 games to play, and Philadelphia basically controls that. Brooklyn plays Detroit, Orlando, and then Philadelphia the last game of the season. So if there's an opportunity, and Philadelphia's proven to do this time and time again, I don't necessarily agree with it, but they will sit everyone to lose that game to Brooklyn, to play Brooklyn in the first round. They will do that. That's who they are. They always, they've done it for years. Doc Rivers teams have always tried to map out their playoff matchups. So we play Miami on Thursday. If we beat Miami, it's all said and done. You ain't got to worry about that. If we lose to Miami, then Brooklyn just needs to beat Detroit and or Orlando, which I think that most people would have them beating both of those teams. If they stumble up to Orlando, which they shouldn't lose Detroit, but if they stumble up to Orlando, Philadelphia will rest everyone the last game of the season, and Brooklyn will win that game. They'll set it up to make sure Philadelphia plays Brooklyn. It'll almost be guaranteed.
You know what? Tobias Harris is one of those players I definitely do respect as a player. He's not the type of guy that you just want to sit in the corner. That's not really his playing style. He needs the ball in his hand. Tobias Harris is one of those guys. He needs the ball in his hands to be effective. I mean, with the Clippers, he was really good with the Clippers with Doc Rivers for a latter half of Philadelphia before, they got Maxey, before they end up with Maxey or ended up with James Harden. He was okay. He was pretty solid. And he can get you 18 points a night. And it's like I said, I think he's a dark horse. I think Tobias Harris is a dark horse to this team. I think he's a dark horse to this team. And like I said, I really respect Tobias Harris' game a lot. It's just he's turned into a spot-up shooter all of a sudden. Standing in the corner on picking rolls, picking pops. He's all of a sudden turned into a spot-up shooter. So I really respect Tobias Harris, like most. I really respect him. I think he's that type of guy that just fell out of the offense and he needs the ball. He's that type of guy. He needs the ball in his hand to be
Coach, to be fair with Harris. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Coach, you can respect his game all you want, but the problem is he's not a max player.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
that.
I
know, but I get what you're saying, but he's a max player for the 76ers.
Yes.
And if Tobias Harris was Andre Iguodala-esque, I'm not talking about just defensively. I'm talking about just that type of role player that got paid as I don't know, $20 million a year instead of 35. He would be a great piece to a championship team. The problem is he's listed as one of your 3 max players. It's him, Harden, and Embiid. And you're not going to win championships if Tobias Harris is one of your top 3 players. You just won't, unless your first 2 are absolute superstars.
Yes, I also think he's forgotten about because of James Harden and Tyrese Maxey. It's those second and third options. The guy, I'll say he can put up 20 points. I just think he only effective with the ball in his hand. He's not effective as a catch and shoot guy. And we got the Tennessee fan in the building, the Yankee fan in the building. How you doing, Joy? How you doing?
Good morning.
All right, so what you think about the Joel Embiid performance last night?
From last night, I did watch a little bit of it, even though I was at work. But he should be the MVP at this point. That's what I think.
Get that slap comment off the screen. BS. Don't tell me when Philly and Boston play each other that they didn't care if they win or lost. Get out of here. Get trash off the screen.
It was like the past few weeks I've been trying to analyze a little bit between Jokic and Embiid both. But from what I saw last night, it should be Embiid at this point. Because one, Jokic is hurt. We don't know how that's going to plan out once he goes down.
Ain't no way in where you asked that question. Well, Gene, I'm gonna let all y'all have the floor on this question right here. I don't think go ahead, Gene.
They're not ready for a championship this year.
I mean, I think so. They are championship or bust, but they're not going to win the championship. So they are if they don't win the championship, no one in Philadelphia could be happy about what they've done the last 4 or 5 years. Now, let me spin something to you. if any reason the Philadelphia 76ers either avoid or get past the Boston Celtics, I think they win the championship. I really believe that. I don't think that I just think that Boston is our biggest bugaboo, our biggest issue. And no other team fears me. Milwaukee in a 7-game series, zero fear. We've beat them in Philadelphia handily. We lost to them recently in Milwaukee, but I don't have any fear playing Milwaukee at all. None. Any Western Conference team, I don't have fear of playing. I don't think any one of them runs us out the gym. The Boston Celtics are the 76ers' biggest issue. If the Sixers get past the Celtics or do not have to play the Celtics, I think the best prediction to win the NBA Finals will be the Sixers.
Mo?
I just don't think Philly's got enough to win a title. When you look at the roster construction, Embiid has to do so much. It'd be nice if somebody on the perimeter, other than Harden, can give him some relief. Look, if Maxey is going to be the guy that a lot of people think he can be, and there's no doubting his talent, he's got to be more consistent, even more so in the playoffs. He don't got to drop 30. Just be consistent and get 20 and be active. When Maxey is on the move, when he's using his quickness and he gets downhill, he's a completely different player. When he's passive and he's just dancing on the outside with the ball, he's ineffective. Maxey's at his best when he's moving. Harden, I think you're going to get numbers from Harden. James is going to give you 20 and 10. There's going to be a couple of games, I guarantee you, where James will drop a 28 or 30-point game. But I think going forward, Gene hit it. If there's any way, and you never say never, Boston gets eliminated or you can avoid Boston in some kind of way, the path to the finals is a straight path for the Sixers. And I respect what the Bucks can do, but when those two teams match up, I think it's the style of play that makes the Bucks actually a good opponent for the Sixers because of how Milwaukee plays. As gifted as Giannis is, you know where he's going to be. You know what he's going to do. Embiid actually can play him well. I've seen Embiid play him well.
You're right.
He knows how to time that Euro step. I've seen it time and time again.
Real quick, though, you said something about Maxey. I just need to reply to this. It's not Maxey being consistent. He's very consistent. He can't score versus Marcus Smart. It's the only guy in the league that just gives him absolute fits. He gets in every time Philly plays Boston. And this is my whole point where I'm trying to tell you that Boston matches up so well versus Philly. Like, I look at Tyrese Maxey's numbers. 29, 13, 22, 29, 37, 21, 21, 22, 31. That's his last 15 games. He's consistent. Last night, 5. Every time he plays Boston, Marcus Smart shuts him down, and it's embarrassing.
No, but I think that's why he needs to be more on the move. I don't think he right. I think you need to find ways to get Smart off him, run him off screens, try to create a cross matchup. I'm in agreement on that. It's a tough look. Marcus Smart gets at a lot of dudes. Man, no, Maxey shouldn't feel bad. Marcus Smart's ability to get into your body and into your space and challenge your handle. And people sleep on this. He's deceptively quick to go with his strength. He might be one of the strongest guys in all the NBA.
Maxey's had 4 games this year where he has not reached double-digit points. 4 games this year where he hasn't had 10 or more points. 3 of them versus Boston.
Yeah.
That's why I like Boston so much, bro. They play great. They play great team defense, dude. You talking about definition of team, really good team defense, man. They play so much. They're not going to stop Joel Embiid. They're not going to stop Giannis. But they got so many bodies that can throw at you, though, that can hold their own, that can hold on their own. They're really – and adding Malcolm Brogdon definitely helps them out. Adding that dude. He can play in space. He can play in space. He can shoot. He has a tendencies to be a playmaker. Man, that Celtics team defense is really something serious. So, Joy, championship or bust for the Sixers this year?
I really can't add anything to anything you all said, but I do agree it is championship or bust, but it seems like they might need maybe 2 more pieces to be considered contenders. But I do see it, how they can't contend now. Because the East is pretty much done. Because ain't nobody, we all know who might come out the East. We all know that it's either the Bucks, the Celtics, the Sixers are right there. I don't know what the Hawks are doing. I don't know what the Heat is doing. And who else? And in the West, some of the teams in the West don't play good defense. So I do believe that it's a slim chance that Sixers could get a championship this year. But again, it is championship or bust.
I don't know why you mentioned goddamn Atlanta. They just disappoint me this year for the team. I thought they just disappoint me. I mean,
Coach, they won last night.
They won, but they just so goddamn. You shouldn't be no down 40 and 39 with adding DeJounte Murray, who can play, who can drop you 20 points. And now you should be better. John Collins clearly frustrated. You fired your goddamn head coach. He don't seem to be a problem because you still having the same goddamn problems you had with Nate McMillan. It's still the same problem. You still losing to teams like Charlotte. You still losing to goddamn teams like my Houston Rockets. You still losing to San Antonio 2 times in a week. You still losing to teams like that. Des, this last question on you. We're gonna move on to the next one. That question right there, the championship or bust?
I don't think it's championship or bust. I agree with G and Mo on this one. The reason why, because I mean, Philadelphia, we've seen it multiple times. They get to the second round and then they lose. You know, I feel like if they make it past the second round, then there is a chance. You know, the biggest things in the playoff is health, pace of the game. Maxey, he's good in space. Like I said, I give credit where it's due. He's a quick guy, can shoot, really efficient. I say the X factor is Harris. He has to be more aggressive. He can't be in the corner. If you have a supporting cast and a good bench, then you know it could definitely be a run. But I agree with Gene and Mo on this. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Philly doesn't win this year. They need to add a couple more pieces, but they're right there. I mean, they're like one of the top 3 teams in the East. I mean, Joel Embiid. I give credit where it's due. I mean, he's due for MVP. So I do give credit where it's due. Like I said, I mean, it's just because we've seen what they've done in the playoffs in the past 3 years, you know. So if they get past Boston, then there may be a slim chance they get into the finals.
Yep.
If they get past Boston, they go into the finals.
They get past Boston. They definitely
finals.
I think this would be the year that they go to the finals if they get past Boston. So right now, Philadelphia is in the 3rd seed. Boston, they still on a collision course to meet in that second round. So they still on a collision course to meet. So we'll see what happens in the very next 2 games. So we got Andrew Wiggins returning to the Golden State Warriors. Gene, how big will that be? Andrew Wiggins finally returning back to the Golden State Warriors.
I mean, it's huge. It's huge. Not just big, it's huge. You're talking about the second most instrumental player in their championship run last year. Man, watch out for Golden State. I've been telling y'all this for weeks, months. I told you, when this team gets healthy and they get all on board, watch out for Golden State. I selfishly want to see a 4 or 5 matchup with Suns, Golden State. However, I would much rather watch that as the Western Conference Finals with both teams in the midst of a playoff run. But to me, it's Golden State or Phoenix coming out of West. I don't believe in Denver. I don't believe in Memphis. I don't believe in Sacramento. It's those 2 teams. So I think that you'll see the Warriors of last year. They'll start hitting their stride early. If they get the Sacramento Kings in the first round, which are projected to get now, man, you watch. That team's going to hit their stride offensively and head into the second round, and you're going to be like, whoa, this Warriors team is back.
All right, Mo.
Look, if Wiggins is back, it changes what they can do defensively. They've already got Peyton Jr. back, and you combine those 2 and their ability to get stopped, make plays, and not to mention they help them offensively. What Wiggins can do in the open court, what Peyton Jr. can do in the open court, like Draymond said, Peyton Jr. is 6'2", 6'3". He's their best lob threat. Wiggins is not only a lockdown defender, He can drop 18 or 19 a game. He's good on the boards. He's also, I think people sleep on. Don't forget, Andrew Wiggins is an explosive athlete. He showed it last year in the playoffs, especially in the finals. I think that once whole, even though you look at their record, I have to give the Golden State Warriors a puncher's chance, not just as a champion, as a defending champion, but this roster will finally be whole for the first time all season, which means everybody can be put in their proper role. All of a sudden, they have more depth than they've had all season. So I think that Golden State definitely has a puncher's chance to come out the West. And I'm with Gene. I'd love to see Golden State versus the Suns in the first round, but it's one of those kind of matchups. You, in a perfect world, you could save it for the conference finals.
Yep. Joy?
Again, like with Andrew Wiggins returning, it is a big improvement. Hopefully they can stop being so inconsistent on the road. But it does help with what they're trying to do defensively. And it's at the perfect time right now because they're getting ready to go into the playoffs. And right now, the way the West is set up with all those young teams like the Rockets, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, they're kind of fizzling out. So they're not, all that potential we saw at the beginning of the season is not there anymore. We all know what they are. We know what Phoenix is after the addition of KD. Dallas ain't in it. The Lakers could be a threat, but at the same time, they're not consistent enough for me right now. The Clippers are who they are. So I'm still, with the addition of Andrew Wiggins, it's either, again, the Warriors who will have a whole complete team defensively and offensively. And then I don't trust Denver either. But the Suns and the Suns and the Warriors are the two good picks to come out the West this year. There's some dark horses. The Lakers could do it. And what the other team am I thinking about? I'll think about it later. But I know the Lakers could do it. There's some other dark horse team that could do it. But right now, the two picks with Andrew Wiggins coming back to win the West should be the Suns and the Warriors.
You talking about the Clippers?
I think the Clippers are a good dark horse pick.
Yes.
So again, right now, the 4 and 5 matchup, if the playoffs started today, we will have that matchup, which is Suns and Warriors. And the Suns will have the home court advantage as of right now. They will have the home court advantage in that series. So if the playoffs started today, that will be the first round. Actually,
yeah, but that's going to change tonight because the Clippers play the Lakers, and both of those teams have the tiebreaker over Golden State. So one of those teams is going to win. So when they win, it will be. I think the Clippers win tonight versus the Lakers. The Lakers just played an overtime game. They got to play a back-to-back. And if the Clippers win that game tonight, it almost solidifies the Western Conference playoffs. It's almost just a wrap.
Yep, and I kind of like if the Clippers can, if Kawhi Leonard or Paul George can actually stay on the floor, I think this is a team in a playoff series that can actually, with Coach Tyronn Lue, is a proven winning head coach. This team with that defense with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, this is a team that can kind of be borderline. It can kind of beat anybody in the 7-game series. Not saying they will, but they definitely could be a problem if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George definitely does play in a playoff picture. So we're gonna go to We're gonna go to Dez. How big the Andrew Wiggins is come? How big that will be if he's deciding to come back? He is on the verge of coming back, but how big it is to Golden State?
It's huge. I agree with all you guys' answers with that. It's huge because that's a key piece to your championship run. He has versatility to the offensive end, the defensive end. The chemistry will be there. The thing that we got to realize, though, he hasn't played in 22 something games. So it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of gel. I mean, it's perfect time right now because of playoffs, right? But it's going to take time to gel. The second thing, I get where everybody's going with Denver. We've been inconsistent. Like last night, I was definitely disappointed with the loss. But at the same time, in Memphis as well, the same time, how can I say this? I respect the Lakers. I respect the teams in the West. But at the same time, we got to look at health. You know, Denver, we're not the healthiest because Jamal Murray with his thumb, Jokic with his calf, and Ja Morant with Memphis with his inconsistencies at times. We have to look at that too. But I can't sleep on Denver though. I'm a Denver fan. I can't say that Memphis and Denver are
You
those teams.
shouldn't, Des.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying like it's one of those teams, man, where we're struggling. We get it, but at the same time, I just feel like Denver's kind of like in the conversation of Philly. Like you know what I'm saying? Like once we get past the second round, we have a shot. You know, the Lakers, they're coming up, but at the same time, can they stay healthy? You know, can they be consistent? So I feel the Warriors, they'll be great, but at the same time, it's that cohesion, you know, because on the road, they're one of the worst teams in the NBA. At home, they're one of the best. So that's going to be a telling story too. Can you be consistent on the road?
I need to know who Damian Hernandez has in his his Western Conference Finals.
Man, hey Gene, don't mind him. Don't mind him. He talks a lot of buffoonery. You don't, yeah. He talks so much goddamn buffoonery. You gonna want to hit him out of the chat. Don't mind him. Just let him talk.
Okay.
Just let him talk. He don't know nothing about basketball. Just let him talk.
He said the Suns and the Warriors both aren't gonna make it past the second round.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, who's gonna get
he in there in key chat and a lot of people chat talking a lot of goddamn buffoonery.
Hey, Dez, if he's right, your Nuggets are in good shape.
I know, man. I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed last night with Denver. Because now with Denver, I'm not trying to sidetrack, but with Denver, there is 2 games left, and now the number 1 seed is still not wrapped up in the West. We're leaving the door wide open for Memphis, and Memphis is starting to get their stride. But I feel that, I mean, with Coach Malone last night, he said we play soft, which they did play soft. I mean, how you let the Houston Rockets, no offense, Coach, but how you let the Houston Rockets beat you? You know what I'm saying? So, and Jokic had 14 and 10, but he had 8 turnovers. That's not efficient. And he said he felt fine. To me, he did not look fine. I honestly think they should have just sat him down. If this is a game where because now we got to go to a game, our next game, and play hard just to wrap up a number 1 seed, which we could have done yesterday.
Don't forget, on yesterday's show, I picked the Rockets.
Yep. Hey, you know the funny part though about it, Gene, Joy, and Dez, you know the funny part about it. 20 of our wins, except for the Detroit Pistons, come against what teams? Playoff teams. That's 20. So we shown the stability that we can beat playoff teams. I just got a bunch of babies on my team. That's all. I just got a bunch of goddamn babies on my team. That's all I got on there. But hey, he'll pick up soon. So yeah, but 20 of our wins come against, but outside of Detroit, come against playoff teams. Come really.
You need a better coach.
Oh hell yeah! I've been saying get him up out of here. I've been off him. Been off him. You know, off him way. We need to change the whole goddamn coaching style. So the next topic we got. Why we gotta keep talking about these dudes? I bet Freddie put these dudes on the top. I bet Freddie
me to that. Don't connect me to that.
Y'all need to be fired for putting these people on the top. We always gotta talk. Let's get these Lakers a break, please. Let's get these guys a break. Look at
me in that. Look at Gene's face. Look at Gene's reaction.
Hey, I agree with Kyle though. Hey, Denver just got to prove better. That's it.
Let's give these people a break, man. So the topic is what's at stake for the Lakers for down the stretch, Gene. I'm gonna let you cook.
What's at stake is they could either lose in the play-in game, or if they make it to the 6th seed, they can lose in the first round of playoffs. That's what's at stake for the Lakers. I'm tired of talking about a team that's been borderline 500 the entire damn season. This is not a topic. We do not talk about the Hawks. We do not talk about the Heat. We do not talk about other mediocre teams that could potentially win a first-round matchup this much. I'm so sick. Bro, I swear to God, I'm not kidding with you. Sports Empire Network talks about the Lakers more than we talk about the Celtics, more than we talk about the Suns, more than we talk about the Nuggets. It's absurd. It's absurd.
Hey, I agree with you, Gene. I agree with you, buddy. Hey, I agree with you. I can't take it. They are above 500 team. They got LeBron. His son is actually more popular than him. Come on, man.
They struggled last night to be the Utah team that's trying to lose.
I watched the game. I know. I watched the game.
They tried to lose. Utah wants to lose. They want to get draft picks. They struggled to beat that team. What's at stake for the Lakers? Like, I don't care. It's so absurd, man.
They were beat up too. The Jazz were beat up. They didn't have Jordan Clarkson or nobody last night. They still went to overtime.
Did you see their starting lineup?
Yes.
There was nobody in there that the only name I recognized was Taylor Horton Tucker. It's like Gene said, they put that lineup out there with the intention of getting a step closer to Big Victor.
They had goddamn Chris Dunn out there playing. They had Chris Dunn out there playing. I don't know where the hell Chris Dunn been.
I ain't seen Chris Dunn in years.
I can't.
You know, he's been
Hey, Drew, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, they could sneak. Well, the reason why we're talking about the Lakers is because they had this recent resurgence. But again, they're still an average team.
They've been playing you. Like, it's been us five. That's the teams they've been playing recently. They've been having a surge because they're playing. This is the lineup last night, right? Lauri Markkanen. I'm sorry, Jordy. I promise. I'll stop. All right. This is the lineup last night. No Lauri Markkanen, no Jordan Clarkson. Kelly Olynyk. I don't even know who Semantic is. Azubuike, Taylor Horton Tucker, and Abaji from
They struggled
from Kansas, the rookie.
Like, I do. Who is? I'm not trying to be an asshole. And I know sports. Who is Lucas Samajic? I don't know who that guy is. Who is it? I just can't. And I watch basketball. You guys talk with me. Who is Lucas Samajic? Like, I can't.
Goddamn, G said Lakers been playing chase all year long. Everybody else winning the race, the Lakers been playing chase all year long. There's what she got.
Man, I agree with Gene, man. Gene just took the words right out of my mouth, man. Like, come on, man. We talk about the Lakers, man. It ain't the Lake Show, okay? LeBron is aging, man. Like, you barely beat the Utah Jazz. I was at work, and I'm like, are you serious? They started getting a lead, and they almost blown the lead, and then we had to go to overtime to beat a team that didn't even have most of their starters, man. They trying to get V. As Mo said, like, come on, man. I was really disappointed.
On a serious note, my problem with the Lakers is I just don't think they have enough shooting provided. They don't have enough shooting, and I know people talk about their improved defense, but they're really not that good defensively.
Yeah, they're not.
And they're very poor when it comes to transition defense. So I'm just being real. Could they win a first round series? Sure. Or are they going to go on a deep playoff run?
No,
I don't see that. I don't see that kind of team. I'm just being real. That might set other people off, but I'm a Laker fan. I don't live in Narnia, so I'm gonna keep it 100. I just don't think this is the kind of team that's gonna go on a deep playoff run. I'll give them credit for making the playoffs because I didn't think they were gonna even make the playoffs. Honestly, I just didn't. But a lot of things would have to break almost perfectly for the Lakers to go on a deep playoff run. Like the one guy would have to be right. Both the Suns and the Warriors would have to get eliminated. Maybe throw in the Clippers get eliminated. Like, so many people would have to be knocked out for that to become a possibility. So I'm just going to stay in reality. That's not a championship team. That simple.
Man, what you call Kyle said that Chris Dunn hasn't played much since Providence, and he was on a summer league team of Boston. Yeah, he hasn't played well since he's been a top.
How long?
I didn't even know he was in the league. I didn't know he was in the league.
How long what?
How long ago was that? Because I don't remember him.
That was some years ago when he was a top prospect. 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, he was a 6th overall pick.
Yep, he was a top prospect, and he was judged to come out with elite defense. He supposed to had elite defense when he got up in the league, and he was a 16-point per game score. But he had defense. That's what they think he had a very high ceiling, which is it turned out not to be very good.
That
so
high. Okay.
At the end of the day, you talking about the other dude from Utah? The dude from Utah. I mean, the dude that Gene don't know his damn name. That's who he talking about. My bad. I thought he was talking about Chris Dunn. But Chris Dunn hasn't been good since Providence. He hasn't been really well. Anyway, since Providence. So we in that Lakers saga. I know Key or Freddie responsible for that topic right there. And I guess in the morning we're gonna be talking about the Lakers again. I already know we're gonna be talking about them again. If they win or lose, it's gonna
when they lose tonight. when they lose tonight, the topic tomorrow will be, can the Lakers turn it around after a loss to the Clippers? That will be the topic. I'm going to mark it now. I'm just going to write it down for you. Same thing every day.
So we gonna move on to another team that did have success versus the Lakers, but they did lose last night to the Golden State Warriors. Very good young team, probably the best young team in the league. To me, the best young team is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Gene, can they still make the playoffs? Can the Thunder still get into the playoffs?
No, I mean, you're considering the playoffs, right? Not the play-in.
Yeah, but they in the play-in. But
my point being is, you're asking if they can make the playoffs, not the play-in. Yeah, no. The answer is no. Okay. Listen, I love Oklahoma City. I think Oklahoma City is built for the future. You got, you got Chet coming back next year. He looked great in the summer league. You obviously have SGA, who's a superstar. You got my man Giddey. That team is loaded.
Giddey, nice.
They're all nice.
Yep.
A bunch of blue chip talent.
Lou Dort, nice 3-and-D guy. Like they're loaded across the board. And the scary part is they got picks in this draft. They got picks.
Yep.
If I'm the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm mortgaging. Hey, you want 7 first-round picks? Give me the first overall pick. Give me Victor Wembanyama and add that to that team.
Yep.
They have 27 draft picks.
Coach, that's what we said, right?
Yep.
A good spot for him would be OKC playing with Shea, because that would take the pressure off of him, because Shea is that dude. Give him time to develop. That would be the perfect landing spot for Big Vic.
I don't think anybody who gets the first overall pick is going to trade that pick, because I don't think 15 first-round draft picks is worth what you're going to get with Victor Wembanyama. But the point I'm trying to make is, if I'm the Oklahoma City Thunder, I am trying my hardest. Hey, how many? You want 12? We got tons of them.
Yep.
Give it all up.
Make the offer.
Yep. Like we was discussing yesterday morning, they can lose the next 2 games. It still will be a successful season for the Thunder.
Yeah.
They weren't even supposed to be close to even a playing spot at this point. So they can lose the next 2 games. They don't have to win them. Who would think they would have 38 wins at this point and still be in this situation? Who would think they would have at least 38 wins with this young team right here, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander leading the way? So no matter how they finish off the season, whether if it's in a 10 spot or not, this still will be a successful season, no matter
I just have no faith in Dallas, right? Like, I think they can make the play-in game, but like, I have zero faith in Dallas. I think that Luka and Kyrie are just oil and vinegar. We just don't go together.
That was a bad trade.
That was a dumb trade. Luka do not work well with another co-star around him. He's shown that time and time. He does not. He needs his own team. He really needs his own squad. So go ahead, Mo. What you think about that topic right there?
About the Thunder
actually make the playoffs?
I don't think the Thunder can make the playoffs. I don't see it. They're not going to beat the teams that are ahead of them to get in. And look, you said it. They've won 38 games. They're loaded with picks. Look, if they didn't have picks, just with the young talent they already have on the roster, the future is bright. Gene mentioned it. Chet's going to be back healthy to go with Giddey and Shea and Dort and both the Williamses. They're loaded already, and they have picks and trade assets. They're set up to where they can either draft and develop more or try to make a play. Gene's right. Nobody's giving up Victor, but you can make a play for maybe another established star if you choose to. They have those kind of options because they've got 1,000 picks.
Joy, what you got?
Pretty much the same. Like, I didn't think that personally, I didn't think that Oklahoma City was going to win 30-something games this year.
Nobody did.
But within the net, I'm like, they could get into the play-ins, but the playoffs are now. But I feel like this team is a team that's in the next 2 to 3 years, they'll be a very good contender. They should be the favorites within the next 2 to 3 years if their players develop out the way they're supposed to, which I see is, let me get my stuff together, which we see what they're capable of. So like right now, I'd say just develop for like the next 2 years, and then just get serious about going on a playoff run about year 3. They should be ready by then.
You know, the Oklahoma City Thunder right now, because of all the first round draft picks they have, they're projected someone's pick that's supposed to be bad. I don't know what it is. The 3rd overall pick. And you add Brandon Miller to that roster.
Oh, word.
Yeah, man, don't
Like,
say that. Please, come on, G. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. That's my favorite player in the draft. Don't do that.
Let
You
that
have the
happen.
1st overall pick. You're taking Victor, though, right?
Yes.
That's what we get it, because the last 2 times we had the worst record, we didn't get the number 1 overall pick.
I'm just saying, if you do, it's projecting you guys.
It should be projected to get Victor, but I actually want Brandon Miller. That's my favorite guy in the draft, man. Really is. I don't want OKC to grab him. I want the Rockets to grab him. That's my favorite dude. It's my favorite guy in the draft. As a projected right now, OKC is in that 10th spot. They only one game. They one game in the win column over Dallas, who plays Sacramento. I believe they play Sacramento tonight. Sacramento could definitely beat the Dallas Mavericks. They lost to that Dallas Mavericks. You lost to Charlotte 2 times. 2 times last week, 2 times in a row. In Dallas, you got humiliated in Dallas, and you got embarrassed in Charlotte. So that doesn't even look like a really team right now. Utah is not eliminated. They only 2 games out of the win column, and 1 game up out of the winning column. So right now, OKC with the loss last night, they still hold that 10th and final spot, depending on what's going on actually with the Kings if they do win that game tonight. So that's how it's shaped out as of right now. So Des, what you think, man? What you think about OKC?
I agree with everybody. I mean, you guys' answers hit right on the nose. I mean, with how close it is just for that last play-in spot, I give it to OKC. They're really, really hungry. I'm not saying Dallas isn't, but Dallas is so inconsistent. You have 2 ball handlers and superstars, and you both can't really gel. It's more just who can put up buckets and less defense. And with how OKC is built, like you guys said, they have picks. They have a great core. They have a good bench. They have a good defensive player in Dort. They remind me of the young Warriors, man, before they started coming on the rise. And I wouldn't be surprised the next 2 to 3 years. And we see the stars of now in the West start to dwindle down, like LeBron, others as well, that they come up in the rising, because they play with so much passion, with so much aggressiveness, and so much enthusiasm that it's just exciting to watch as a basketball fan. So I give OKC the play-in spot, but the playoffs, no. They're just not ready. The play-in for sure, but the playoffs, no.
That's actually a good point you made, Des. When you look at how they're built and how there is going to be a change in the guard, you've got Kawhi and PG, they're in their 30s. KD is 35. Chris Paul's 36, 37. LeBron's 30. There's going to be a changing of the guard. The Warriors are no longer kids anymore. Their core, their main guys, other than Wiggins, they're in their 30s. So you're right. In a couple of years, that's going to be, look at what the Rockets may be able to do. You already see what Oklahoma City is doing. There is going to be a changing of the guard. And Oklahoma City, you can't guarantee the future, but barring an injury, I think they're going to be one of those teams, one of the top seeds in the West. Like the change in the guard, the next couple of years, there's definitely going to be a big power shift because of some of those older stars. They won't be there.
Man, just like I say, just making a play-in tournament, if that record, if that holds up, that's a win alone. Just getting a shot of getting into a playoff play-in tournament, that's really good alone. That's a step in the right direction. So to me, that if they get into the play-in tournament, we already know anything can happen. When it's a 1-game playoff, we already know anything can happen. Even if they lose, though, that's a win for them. If they find a way to get in, that's a really good win to them to get some of that play-in experience, playoff type of atmosphere experience. That's a win for OKC alone right there. I say, even we said yesterday morning, even if they don't make it, this is a winning season for them. This is a winning season for them. This is like 38 wins. That's a lot for a young team like that. For the youngest team in the league, that's a lot. That's a lot of goddamn. It's a lot of goddamn showing, man. A lot of goddamn showing in the
A lot of player development too.
Yeah, a lot of player development, great coaching as well. Coaching them young guys up like that, man. That's a hell of that. This is a hell of a season. No matter what happens for OKC, man, the best young team in the league and the youngest team in the league at this point right now. So we got so we're gonna go to another NFL topic. Gene, you was talking about this on your show I believe on a cheap seats. I believe I was talking about this. Give me the best fit for Anthony Richardson.
See, this is interesting. When I've seen this question come up, it's tough for me because I have him like outside of my top 5 quarterbacks. And like people have him 1, 2, 3. I don't see it. I watched him play. I feel like that he is a massive project. You have to develop an offense completely around him. Dare I say, like a Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson style offense to where you're running QB powers. I think a good fit for him would be Baltimore. I guess that would be my answer because I don't think Baltimore is going to re-sign Lamar Jackson. So I guess because the offense is already in place to run QB powers and use the quarterback in a sense that with his legs, maybe I'm missing something and I don't want to, and I get how great of a combine he has. But I also remember other players having great combines. Jamarcus Russell had a hell of a combine. There's a lot of players that are physically gifted that aren't great quarterbacks. He needs a great offensive mind and to be able to learn behind the right situation for him to be successful. You can't plug and play Anthony Richardson in any offense. Like, I'll give you an example. You can't, like, if Dak was not there, you couldn't plug and play Anthony Richardson in Dallas's offense. Just wouldn't work. I think that he needs to go to the right situation that is a defense run situation and allow him to develop. Or he can go behind a veteran quarterback and learn for a year or two and really develop himself. Because I'm not saying he'll never be good in the NFL. There's plenty of third-round picks that pan out. But my grade on him's third round. And everyone else has him top 10. So I guess Baltimore would be the answer if you're going to take him in the top 10. But in my ideal world, like in an ideal situation for me, I would say he plays behind a veteran quarterback and learns the offense and learns a scheme to play behind. He would be drafted as a project and a backup for me.
Mo?
I think that the same thing. I'm with Gene. I was going to say, he took the words right out of my mouth. He's a talent, but he's a raw talent. He's not some guy that's going to step right in and you're going to put on the field. Being behind a veteran quarterback for a couple of years can only make him better. To think that he's going to step right in and be a starter from day one, I just don't see that. He's really, really raw. Like he's a freakish athlete, but as Gene said, and Gene, you can appreciate this, Mike Mamula was great in the combines, but he wasn't really the player that projected. There's a lot of combine babies that don't project to being great players. So I would say that I don't know the team, but his best path to having a good career, sit behind a veteran quarterback, actually learn the game of football. You know what I'm saying? Actually learn the game of football, develop his skill sets more, and refine his talents, and then go from there. But he's not the kind of guy that you draft in the. I don't think you should draft him in the top 10. Somebody might, but he's somebody that sits for a couple of years, old school style, and learns the game.
How about the Las Vegas Raiders?
Yeah, sit him behind Jimmy G.
Sitting behind Jimmy G. You have Josh McDaniels, who has experience with Cam Newton in New England, running an offense around that. Like, what about, like, that would be a situation. But see, the problem is he's not going to last as long as it would take for a team to draft a quarterback as a project.
Yep. Jay, how you feel about it?
I mean, because I've watched him play this year. One, I watch Alabama play. I watch SEC football all year during football season. So I already know that his talent is more in his legs. He could be inconsistent when it comes to arm talent. So And knowing that and knowing the direction that this league is going towards, when they're where the running positions are kind of being devalued a little bit, being a running quarterback in a passing league is not going to bid well for him. So his best bet would be to sit behind a veteran quarterback to develop his arm talent, because he has a little bit, but it's not much. So I really don't understand people trying to take him top 10. He's a 3rd round, 4th round talent at best. But that's where I don't see any specific team, but the best situation for him is to get if they wanted him to start, you would need a good offensive line that could protect the run, that could keep him off the ground, and you would need a good defense. But if you wanted him to maybe kind of develop towards being a pocket passer, you'd have to sit him for at least 2 years. That's my opinion on it.
The Raiders is an excellent spot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna throw this ain't gonna be a shot, Joy, because I'm in your division. I'm actually in your division. How true it is that Tennessee is trying to get a quarterback? How true that really
That's
is?
not true. That's not true at all.
Just make sure.
Ryan Tannehill's cap hit is too much for them to be trying to do anything. Like between,
Actually, they regret that contract.
I know, because John Robinson ruined that team from the top down.
Yep.
And it's now up to Rand to fix it.
I completely agree with you.
So you guys got to go out and get the wide receiver.
Not the answer.
Like, because who is going to trade for Ryan Tannehill and a bag of chips? Nobody.
If it did
Absolutely
feel good,
nobody.
it did feel good.
I'll tell you where you could ship them. I'm telling you this right now. If you give up your 2nd round pick and Ryan, you can get rid of the contract of Ryan Tannehill, and the New England Patriots would love to pick up that 2nd round pick, and that number would come off the books this year. They have tons of cap space still because they didn't use any of it, and he would be a backup to Mac Jones. But if I'm being completely honest with you, you'd have to find a team that has a bunch of overloaded cap that they didn't use this year that want to pick up a draft asset, like a 2nd round draft pick. You guys have the extra 1st round draft pick from Philadelphia for A.J. Brown, so you guys have.
And that was the dumbest trade of the decade, if you ask me.
Agreed. But if you weren't going to pay him, you had to trade him. You would have paid him. I get it. My point being is, I think it works out best for Tennessee and Philadelphia because I don't think Tennessee had the quarterback to make A.J. Brown into what he was this year.
That is true. That I agree with. Because Tannehill is very inconsistent. So who's going to pay $40 million a year for a very inconsistent quarterback who can throw you either 3 touchdowns or 3 interceptions in quick succession?
Remember that Brock Osweiler trade, though?
I thought that was horrible, too.
But the trade, though, to Cleveland, when they picked up a 2nd rounder from and that 2nd rounder, I think, turned into Nick Chubb. I'm pretty sure that 2nd rounder turned into Nick Chubb. So picking up an extra 2nd round draft pick wouldn't be a bad idea for a team that has a bunch of extra cap space. If I'm Tennessee, I'm doing anything I can to get out from underneath those bad contracts and rebuilding the right way. You have a good head coach. Mike Rabel is a very good head coach. Mm-hmm. You see what he's been cooking in the kitchen with dollar store ingredients.
Exactly.
Man, I don't, Gene. Why you
That is a project.
You shouldn't mention Brock Osweiler, man. Come on, man. Don't mention no Brock Osweiler. You don't.
Houston did a bad trade with Osweiler.
Yeah, that's your guy.
No, we got him in free agent. We actually got him in free agent. We actually paid that goddamn dude to come be our quarterback, and that was the one time I only get miserable. When I think about Brock Osweiler, I think about what he almost did and how he almost threw our season away against Jacksonville. Man, Bill O'Brien. I never seen Bill O'Brien that mad in my entire life being a Houston Texan fan. When he threw that darn interception to Telvin Smith, and he started doing like this because he know he messed up, and Bill O'Brien say, "Come on, get your behind on this side, get your behind over here on this sideline." And he brought in goddamn Tom Savage to say to help us get into the playoffs.
Coach, I love your fan base, the Houston fan base.
I love it as well.
They have that. If you remember, and I know Coach will remember this, but it was national news. Do you remember when Matt Schwab was your quarterback?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the pizza company did in Houston? Y'all remember this?
I think I remember it.
What the pizza company did was they named a pizza and they called it the Shabby. And you could pick 6 toppings.
Yeah.
That's Matt
He's
Schaub.
throwing so many pick sixes.
That's Matt Schaub.
They literally changed the pizza name to the Shabby, and you could pick 6 toppings. I was dying.
That's Matt Schaub.
That was crazy. That was really something. That was really something crazy. But I think
I did not know that. That's crazy.
Brock Osweiler is the worst quarterback that we ever had in Houston. That was the most embarrassing quarterback play on all my years watching the Houston Texans. That was the most embarrassing quarterback play that I ever seen in my entire life as a diehard Houston Texans fan. That was the most horrendous quarterback play that I ever seen in my life, as long as I've been a Houston Texans fan right there. Every time someone mentioned a Brock Osweiler and I have to think about that, I turn into a goddamn like Red Devil, a raging bull, thinking about how much that dude robbed us, how much that dude just literally robbed us. Literally just
Coach, I love you, bro.
Yeah. I don't get like this that often, but John Elway was right. John Elway he knows quarterbacks. He saw Brock Osweiler wasn't. Then he said, Rick Smith say, "F it, come on to Houston." And yeah, we definitely paid for it up on that. So again, man, like I say, Des, what do you see Anthony Richardson? Where do you see a good fit for Anthony Richardson?
I'm sorry about Brock Osweiler, man. Trust me, he's trash. Anthony Richardson, I say 2nd round pick, 3rd round at most. And I say Baltimore. I agree with Gene. I agree. He needs to be on a power running team, great offensive line. And the skills, like the scheme and stuff, like the offensive scheme for him wouldn't be a lot to kind of learn or grasp, because he's used to that. That's his game. He's more of like a Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton type player. I think Baltimore is actually going to do what they call their draft visits with him too. I think today as well. So that's intriguing to me that Baltimore is doing that, and they're doing their due diligence. So I feel like he's a 2nd, 3rd round. I mean, he uses more of his legs than his arm. So that's my opinion on that.
On the offhand that they do draft him, does that tell you for sure then Lamar's getting moved, or is that just? Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying?
There's speculation that he might be traded on draft night.
Right.
Okay. I think he's getting moved anyway it goes. I think the relationship kind of broken anyway. I think he get moved regardless if they get a quarterback, they don't get a quarterback or not. I still think he gets moved.
We're talking about Anthony Richardson going to Indianapolis because Shane Steichen is their head coach and what Shane did with Jalen Hurts. I just don't think you understand how big of a difference it is between Jalen Hurts and Anthony Richardson as far as throwing the football. Exactly. I understand that, what you're thinking about with Jalen with the power run game and the fact that, but throwing the football is just a huge difference.
One, Indy ain't got no line to run the ball. They have some talent on the perimeter as far as receivers, but as far as protecting him, they can't protect him worth 2 nickels.
Yep.
Because they got Matt Ryan killed and Ellinger was close.
That offensive line went from being top 5 to bottom 5 real fast.
Yep. So I want to get Gene thoughts, and I know Gene why he watched the same stuff I basically do. So he does watch MLB baseball. Enjoy. You're a Yankee fan, right? You as a Yankee fan, you're a Yankee fan, right?
I don't watch baseball like that.
No, you don't watch baseball because you said Yankees. You said something about the Yankees. But Gene, give me your thoughts on the first 6 games of the season. And y'all finally beat what you call the Yankees? Y'all beat the who yesterday, Gene?
Oh, Stankies.
Yeah. Well, give me your thoughts on the first 6 games of the season. What teams you're watching? What about the Phillies?
I think that a lot of people in Major League Baseball circles always hold on. I got a train in my backyard. Thank you. I think a lot of people overreact to the first week of the season, first month of the season. It's 162 games in the MLB season, but there's a few things that I see that step out for me. One of them is I think Baltimore is going to be legit this year. I picked the Baltimore Orioles to make the playoffs. this year. They were one of my wild card teams. I thought that was going to come to fruition. I think that people need to pump the brakes on all these great teams that are starting slower, like San Diego, Philadelphia. I think they'll be fine. It's early in the MLB season, but there's a lot of teams, like the Cubs look better than you expect them to do.
Yep.
You'll see some of these teams that stand out early, these young teams. But I think that, I agree with you. You know, the Braves winning the East again. They're the most complete roster in baseball. They have 2 aces with Fried and Strider. They have the most complete lineup in all baseball. Acuna, Harris, like there's so many. I could literally go to the whole lineup. Olsen, Riley, like their whole lineup is loaded. But I think that in the NL, you're going to see a lot of the same as you've seen last year. The top 6 teams are the top 6 teams. If there's going to be a team that challenges those top 6 teams, I think it'll come from the Central, and that'll be Chicago. Or, hey, listen, I'll take it even a step further. I really am falling in love with the young talent of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I know they're not there yet, but man, O'Neal Cruz is going to be a superstar. Brian Hayes is going to be a superstar. They have a lot of young talent on that roster. And then last but not least, I think the Blue Jays are going to be a formidable team. I think 3 teams make the playoffs in the AL East. I think it'll be the Yankees, Blue Jays, and Baltimore Orioles. So we have a lot of things to talk about in the upcoming weeks. I think Houston and Texas are going to be the top 2 teams in the West. I think Seattle's going to fall off a little bit. I think they're a little overhyped. And I think the White Sox will make a huge run at the Central over the Guardians. I think the Guardians were played a little out of their mind last year.
Yeah, they kind of overachieved what they did. They kind of overachieved a little bit more last year. But like I say again, Houston fans, don't panic again. We never played in month of April really well. Last 2 years, we were 500 in the month of April. We was 500 overall in the month of April before we got on a huge run in a World Series run. So I know we're 2-4 at this moment. The bats are not hitting well. We never hit well in the month of April. We never do that. Pitching has not been great either. Pitching has not been the best, but hey, we should have won most of these games, especially against Detroit. We should have beat Detroit. He said, Kyle said, I think the Red Sox will be a part of the wild card race. So, I mean, man, like I say, man, it's a good show, y'all. Any last final thoughts from Gene before we end the show?
No, I know final thoughts here. I just really appreciate talking sports with 4 very knowledgeable people around me. It's great to kind of get into a lot of this NBA playoff talk. I think that NFL offseason, the draft will be coming up. That'll be fun to get into. But right now, we're NBA playoffs. This is the majority NBA show right now, and that's where we're headed. MLB's cool. NFL's great when it's rolling, but this is basketball season right now.
Yep. Mo.
NBA's king. That's all we're going to be talking about going forward. And who's not excited to see the first round matchups? Like Gene said, the Clipper-Laker game, that'll pretty much put everybody in their place.
Yep. Jay?
Can't really, right now it is basketball, prime basketball. You'll get the best basketball right around now, playoff basketball. So it's right around the best time of the year for me to watch. Other than football season.
I'm with you 100%. And just to comment on playoff basketball, there's one thing you're going to see these teams get exposed with. If you have teams that do not know how to run half-court sets, if you have teams that do not know how to scheme baskets, you are going to see them be exposed in the playoffs because nobody is taking possessions off in the playoffs.
Oh, no.
No. Facts.
You hear me, Doc Rivers?
There will be none of that load management crap in the playoffs.
Oh my goodness!
Coach said earlier that Brock Osweiler was the name that grinds his gears, right? Mine's Ben Simmons.
Oh my God!
I just wanted to put that out there. There's nobody in and not the National Basketball Association, the National Football League, nobody will get my blood boiling more than the Charmin softy Ben Simmons.
Yeah. He's on the way. He might be on the way out of the league. You just never know, man. So,
Good.
yeah, nobody want to put up the Brooklyn Nets. Say, now we got to shut you down, sir. We got to put you up out of the rotation. We got to shut you down right quick, man. Now this ain't gonna work. This ain't working. Man.
I'll tell you right now, if y'all ever want to get me a gift, my birthday is in October. If y'all ever want to get me a gift, I don't care. It could be before October. It could be like a half birthday gift. I'll give you my address. Send me the Ben Simmons Charmin jersey. They have I'm going to buy it. Charmin Ultra Soft.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Dez, any final thoughts after having to recover from that spanking my Rockets put on you last night? Any final thoughts, man? Have you recovered after that?
No, I am so salt, man. I am so salt. I had to look at the score twice. I said, "You gotta be kidding me, man." I was like, "You gotta be." And Jokic was playing. Come on, man. But
no, he was playing that.
We were. You can't. You were right though. I gotta give Mo. I think Mo and you picked Houston yesterday.
Yo,
I gotta give credit where it's due. My picks were not good yesterday. I mean, OKC. I mean, like I was really disappointed, man. But I feel like it's playoff basketball, man. That's the prime thing. We got the draft coming up pretty soon too, as well, by the end of the month. I know there's some boxing matches coming at the end of the month with Garcia and Davis as well. I know UFC fighter Asanya's fighting again soon. So, I mean, we're in the spring and summer prime, but like Gene said in playoff basketball, hit it on the nose. You're going to see teams getting exposed. The juiciest storylines for me is Phoenix. How can KD play with Phoenix in the playoffs? Because you can play good in the regular season. You only got a couple games in. Health is going to be a big issue. Space, ball movement. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Philly, I mean, can Joel Embiid get a supporting cast? You know, Denver, can we stay consistent and have actually a good run? You know, so it's going to be juicy, man. Get the butter and popcorn ready because it's going to be popping.
I love you, brother, but I'm telling you right now, you don't have to worry about them Phoenix Suns. Them Phoenix Suns are going to run through the West outside the Warriors. You do not worry about those Phoenix Suns. They're the best team in the basketball, and I'm telling you that right now. You watch that team play fully healthy, and everybody wants to make excuses, right? They don't have depth. They don't play defense. That's all bullshit. Look at the roster. Look at the roster. I'm telling you right now that Phoenix Suns team's winning the NBA Finals. Book it. And last, sorry, MVP.
I mean, like I said, my final thoughts, and like I said again, like Gene brought it up, just had to bring his name up again. But again, I hope Jadam trade Derrick Henry away because I'm tired of seeing that man play against Houston.
No.
And he was able to calm him down the second game, but that game against Houston, the first game, the dude beat us by himself. With Malik
that man not getting traded, and you know that.
Well, y'all need to figure out a way to get him fighted. I'm tired of playing. I'm just tired of him killing us. Tired of him killing my team. So
how do you think the rest of the AFC South feel?
How you think the rest? No, they don't feel great, but I feel miserable playing him. I feel miserable playing him. So like I say, man, shout out to everybody, man. Big shout out to everybody for being a part of the panel this morning. It was really fun. I'm laughing my heart out dealing with Gene, talking about the Lakers, but I guarantee we'll be talking about it again tomorrow, especially tomorrow morning, especially if they beat the Clippers. We'll be talking about them again. Key or Freddie gonna put the topic in, and we'll be back talking about them again. A team that's been playing chase all year with the top one seeds, with the top seeds in the league. Team that's been actually chasing all year, but they've been doing a great job. So other than that, shout out to y'all. Gene, tell the people where they can hit you up at, where they can follow you at.
Tonight, Wire to Wire Sports Podcast. Last month in March, we broke a record for most downloads in a month that we just set in November. We are growing at a great rate. What y'all laughing at? You talking about Freddie?
It's Freddie.
Freddie,
hey, Gene, I'm gonna check y'all out tonight.
Appreciate that. We got a lot going on tonight. Tonight we got UFC talk. We got the Masters talk. We got our top outfielders list for MLB baseball. There's a lot to talk about tonight. There's a huge show on Wire to Wire. Give us a download. Give us a share. Appreciate all the continued support.
Go ahead, Mo.
You can find me right here, Sports Empire Network. This is home.
Jay.
I mean, you can find me right here on Sports Empire Network, but if you wanted to listen to my podcast, I have a podcast called Jory Sports Stories. We cover mainly football and basketball, but we're transitioning to basketball season right now on season 2.
Des.
You can find me on the network or on Facebook. And for Freddie, man, no.
Listen, Freddie, I just want to hear. I want to hear how Freddie talks tomorrow morning when the Clippers beat them tonight. I just want to hear that. And then listen, keep that same energy in the playoffs too. When you're down 3-1, keep that same energy in the playoffs. And for my man Mo, this is for you, my friend. He said Sports Empire Network was home. I had to play it for him. Home, a place where we can go to take the weight off the shoulders. Let's
My
go.
guy.
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, let's go, man. So shout out to everybody. I need really no introduction, man. Like I said, man, y'all can find me right here on the morning show. Y'all can find me at me and Keith 7200 seconds. Y'all can find me like I say, NFL morning drive when that come back. Y'all can find me everywhere. Y'all can find me everywhere. Really need no introduction. So as Freddie coming in the chat with this buffoonery, I think Freddie ducked Gene this morning. I really think Freddie kind of ducked Gene, got away ducking Gene this morning. So other than that, guess we'll talk about that when we see him in the morning. But other than that, man, shout out to everybody. As for myself, Coach, my guy Gene right here, my guy Mo, Joy, and we got Des. We see you guys in the morning, and do not go Lakers.